My philosophy is a very simple philosophy, that pressure equals resistance, resistance equals lack of control. So to get control, I've got to remove resistance. To remove resistance, I've got to remove the pressure or identify where I can distribute it or where I've got to remove it. If you could just turn sideways and give me your shoulder, if you lean against me now, you feel that?
That hurts.
Right. Now, do the same.
Yeah, it's a much softer push.
Same pressure, bigger surface area.
Correct.
Hence the reason with all my bits, they are curved. So I try and distribute the pressure over a bigger surface area.
So Bomber, let me just understand that correctly, because what you're saying is the old traditional single jointed snaffle
Yes.
has a big nutcracker action.
Correct.
Where when you bend it like this,
Correct.
you dissipate that a little bit because it fits the horse's mouth
Correct.
better. Is that correct?
Correct. So you can see with that one, as we come in, we're creating a nutcracker action.
With
Where if
that
you
one,
demonstrate with that, it is
it's
curved.
nicely curved.
The other very important thing is the horse's tongue is the most sensitive organ on the horse. All the other bit makers, this center ring is always very big. So you can see that that amount sticks out. It comes out below. So we've curved it, it's there. Now if you look at one of my bits, I offset that link. So when we do that, it's completely smooth.
So in fact, the bigger part of it is on top where it's not on the tongue, and the flatter part is underneath.
Correct. And that makes a huge difference.
As with everything, it's the little things that make the difference.
The difference. Discomfort and pain, head goes up. If there's too much bit, the chin goes against the chest, and they're trying to come what we call behind the bit.
And what about sideways, Bomber?
Sideways is sometimes it can be a teeth thing, but I find if a horse does not like tongue pressure, 90%, I'd say 85-90% of horses do work with tongue pressure. And you create tongue pressure, it brings the head down. If they do not like that, they will then shake their heads, upward, left to right, up or down. They will jerk forward, or they come behind, stick their tongue out, suck their tongue back, which then restricts the breathing, or puts the tongue over. Then you will get horses that, when they've given you the signs, they will either lean on you, go heavy, or they'll go down, or they just poke to the side.
And also, once they turn their head sideways, they're unbalancing their shoulders. Is that not correct? So
correct.
You've got an unbalanced horse anyway.
Correct. You know, I always say a good example is look at the racing. A lot of people don't realize a horse will only stride to the tip of its nose.
That's very interesting. So the front stride will go to its nose.
Correct.
Okay.
So if the horse is behind the bit, it's going to be in second gear. And in racing, you see on the finish, and make a note the next time you see a race being finished and they show you the nose, draw a line from the nose down, see where the hoof is.
Wow,
it's
that's
always
so
in a straight line.
Okay.
And remember, a horse doesn't run faster, it just takes more ground.
You mean it's not striding quicker, it strides longer?
Longer. It covers more ground. So when you are here, it's only striding to its nose, but when you get like typical Impala, you get the nose right out there, that's when they stride, a full stride, and they're covering more ground.
Which then would really, from a schooling and bitting point of view, what you're doing when you're creating a decent mouth, when you touch those reins for the first time, and you get your legs strong, what you're doing is shortening that stride, so it's possible for the horse to stop.
Yes, yes.
So all of those, what you're saying, it all works in
it
conjunction.
All balances, correct.
That's very interesting.
And it's very obvious, and I'm sure you've seen it also, where you bit a horse correctly, and then you take the bit out and put a bit in. Say, for instance, a horse with a sensitive tongue, and you put a bit in that puts pressure on the tongue, where you cantering along and they start shaking their head, and you can feel the shoulders, they're out of balance. It's like a car where the front wheel's not balanced, they start getting a speed wobble. Yeah, so it's taken a long time, and every horse is different. That's the other point I want to make, is a lot of people will come out with a bit, they'll take one of my bits, oh, Bomber, this is fantastic. Another one put their whole string in the same bit.
Into one bit.
I always say a horse is like a woman. There's no two women alike, there are no two horses alike. So you got to bid every horse individually. In fact, we get people coming through to us from all over the world. All we need to know is what bit they've got in the horse's mouth. And a lot of people don't realize when I say what bit, they will refer to this as a snaffle or a loose ring. I'm worried what's inside the mouth.
Quite correct.
I must know what goes inside, then we talk about the outside. So if they are riding it with a snaffle, single break, they will tell me, I'll ask them, what is the horse's head doing? And from that, we get about an 80-85% success rate without even seeing the horse or the rider. But they must just answer our questions directly, and it's all related to the positioning of the horse's head.
But it would be more accurate if you had a short video clip to look at, and then you'd really know what you're doing.
What you are going to do, I think, is fantastic. And I don't believe anyone in the world is setting out on the project that you are doing right now. And I think it is going to be absolutely fantastic and of great value.